motion. Let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. Until then you'll leave your words. But lay on. Now it's time to defend your lies. Lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, you say defend your lies. Lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, have you reached your lover's end? No more. Will we make pretend like we something to fight for? Oh. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for.
Good evening, race fans, and Pirate here, Black Flag Racing TV, and we are back with more of the GT Alphas preview races. We had some on Monday. We did them in short sprint format, and now we're going to do some long format races. 4 of the 12 tracks that we've got running for the GT Alphas series. Do bear with me because it's been a while since I broadcast anything of any note, so if I mess things up, it is what it is. And yeah, there we go. So we've got we're going to have a number of randoms in the lobby as well, but we'll try and manage as many of the people we need as possible. Yeah, there we go. Do bear with me while I get everything set up, but we'll be starting in about 2 minutes time. Right, space has been made for Dalton. I'm hoping he jumps in very quickly before someone else does. I'm hoping that's him coming in, and then we can get cracking with the first qualifying session. And there we have it. So just need everyone to tick in. We get cracking with the first qualifying. We're going to start with 14 laps around the brilliant Dragon Trail seaside. For those of you who want to know what's going on, GT Alphas looks like this. Start on September 30th with a qualifier on the 23rd of September. It will all races at 8 p.m. UK time on Saturdays. 20-minute sprint race followed by a 40-minute feature race. 12 rounds plus, of course, the qualifier. Everything broadcast live. There will be multiple lobbies based on class, based on speed, to make it nice, close racing. And obviously we'll have the individual class and team championships that go with it, of course. Just waiting for Stormfly to check in, and then we can start qualifying. That's what the race calendar looks like. We'll start out on the 23rd at Willow Springs. Then round 1 will be at the brilliant Interlagos. We'll be here in the tail end of the season, round 9 at Dragon Trail Seaside. So just waiting for Stormfly to check in. Give me a Z again and I will kick you from the room, you absolute bellend. Looking forward to this one, seeing what sort of pace we've got from these guys. Could be an interesting little session. So just waiting for Stormfly to tick that button so we can get cracking. If you listen to Aaron, click the button, man, come on. We need to get going. Aaron, are you there? Is Aaron going to miss the first qualifying because he didn't tick in? I certainly hope not, because he's going to be certainly a contender for the championship, so he does need to get ticked in as soon as humanly possible. Right, I'm going to start to give the warning here now. There we go. Right, here we go. Qualifying is about to begin. Let's get going with the first qualifying session. Looking forward to seeing what sort of pace these guys have got. Everyone's still toying with different car choices. The McLaren 650S is a popular choice overall at the moment, but that's not to say that that won't change. You've got to bear in mind there will be updates throughout the series itself. So you may find that different cars have a much better choice. You've got to think about the whole of the 12 tracks available to you, because picking one car based on the first track is not necessarily the way forward. So 5-minute qualifying session. Get out there, set a hot lap. If you're lucky, you might get a second, but it's all about getting the best lap you can in the shortest time possible, followed by 14 glorious laps around this track. Good evening, no hassle. Good luck to the ART guys that are joining us for this, Terminator and Dalton. Looking forward to seeing both of their the sort of pace they're putting in. Wooly as well, I believe, from ART will be joining us in GT Alphas. The numbers are going up. We are very, very close to having it full. So if you are interested in Alphas, you're not yet signed up, get signed up. A couple of people have dropped out at this stage, so there is a couple of spaces available if you want them. Let's go on. We'll go on board with Stormfly's first out. He's going for the AMG GT3, which is a very, very nice. Has he gone for the AMG GT3? Yes, he has. He's gone for, the AMG GT3, which is a very, very nice car. And actually proving to be a lot more popular after we did the sprint races on Monday. Slipstream, I think, has already set his stall out as that being his car for the series. But a number of others that were toying with the McLaren have started to think about using this car instead. So here we go. This is the onboard lap with Stormfly. You head on the left-hand side. You head up towards this turn number one. Turn number one, you are flat out, kink to the right-hand side. Clip that curb, hug it nice and tightly into the brake zone. 100-meter board onto those brakes down to second gear. You want to hug that inside curb. Pay more attention to the first of the two. You're better off scrubbing off some speed for the first of that chicane than getting a better exit from the second. 3 chicanes on the 3 prongs of this track. You've got 3 hairpins, 3 chicanes, all very different, all very challenging. That is hairpin number 1. Takes you down to this little twisty left-right section. You drop down just a little, scrub off a little bit of speed just to get the accelerator on, and then down, fully planted all the way down the hill, twisting down towards the seaside section and the second of the 2 really tricky hairpins. 100-meter board again just before on those brakes down to second gear. Get the rotation in the car before you power back through. Then you're into a sort of double chicane here. You've got this little chicane here, which is flat out, which takes you into the chicane of death. Bravery personified through there. I haven't seen many races, particularly of sort of 10 laps or more, where everybody hasn't at least clipped out once. Often you see a lot of people come cropper. The final hairpin, not quite as steep as the other 2, but it's the last one, leads you up the hill towards completing lap number 1, or a hot lap, as is in this case. Across the line, Stormfly goes. That's a 1:37.6. He sets his stall out for pole position. Has anyone else got any pace to match that? Well, we see there Fubo with a 140. We see Willard with a 140. 141 for TJ. 140.5 for Jay. Terminator with a 140.6. Saeed, not anyone familiar to us at the moment, puts himself on row 2 with a 39.4. And that just gets beaten by the Italian with a 39.2. Jumping into 3rd position as Mr. Nice from Germany, 139.0 for him. And GMAC is in 2nd position on that front row with a 38.4. Tom Cash with a 140. So grid looks like this. There's one hot lap left basically, and one hot lap left. So if they want to make a difference, now is the time. We do see a couple of drivers backing out on this lap to let the quicker guys through. GTR, good choice for the series. The Porsche 911, as we said, the McLaren 650S going to be a good choice, as is that GT3 AMG. What else are people opting for here? It's all going to be, I think it's all Porsches and all McLarens. McLaren, Porsche, that's another GT3, that's another Porsche. That's a Corvette there for Fubo. Interesting choice for him. GMAC, has he gone for something out there? No, he hasn't. He's gone for the GTR. I thought at one stage he was going to go for the Mustang, but he lost his bottle, as he often does. I think that was Wiggy in a wall there. Wiggy in a wall. So there we have it. That's time up. So whatever that you get when you cross the line, that's the best you've got to offer. Stormfly on pole isn't beaten. Donato from Germany in that GTR, and that's the livery from the film. I was going to say, seals out the front row, but Saeed with a 38.2, that's a phenomenal lap time, reclaims that second spot on the grid. As Mr. Nice, the German driver, 38.0, jumping up onto that front row. That drops Donato down. Has he got enough in him? Has he got enough pace to usurp anyone from that front row? As he comes round that final bend, it's not looking super duper duper quick, is it? It's quick enough for row 2. That's a 38.1. That pushes Saeed down to 4th position. So, quick look at the results. Stormfly from Mr. Nice, Donato, Saeed, GMAC, GI289, Grizz Troopers, TJ, Terminator, Dalton, Tom Cash, Wiggy, Willard, Fubar, and J49. Right, let's remind them to put their tyres. And we will go. So 14 laps around here. It's going to be fast, it's going to be frantic, and there's going to be some people in a wall. Of that you can be certain. Right, let's get cracking with race number 1.
What do we want? Race car noises. When do we want them? Meow.
Had to be done. Had to be done. Right, let's get all the info up on the screen and let's get cracking with the first race. You will notice that this, the number of the cars, particularly those competing in the GT Alphas, do have the Proper Blokes Club logo on the side. We'll talk about that in a little while. They're the mental health partner for Black Flag Racing at the moment. Keep talking, lads, keep talking. So we are away. Stormfly gets a good start. Donato jumps Mr. Nice from that start as we head down to turn 1 on this 14-lap race. Tactics, very important. You've got to think about your tyre strategy. Think about what you're going to do with fuel. It's not quite as long as the races will be. There will be 40 minutes long. This is going to be about 22, 23 minutes, depending on pace, of course. Stormfly leads everyone out in that GT3. Donato, he's gone for the Gran Turismo movie livery on that GTR. Mr. Nice just behind him in the Porsche 911 from Germany. 2 Germans in that top 3 alongside the Hungarian. I know it's a Dutch flag, it's because he lives in the Netherlands, but he is Hungarian in the lead. The Italian GI also in that Porsche 911. We've got GMAC going for the same Nismo livery on his GTR as well. So a couple of drivers still not decided on their cars and not decided on their liveries. This is TJ. I think he's had his heart set on this McLaren. You can see there, we've got all of the required liveries on the side. Dutch flag, of course, for the Dutch driver. And that is the showcase of the just gets the bloody wall of concert. Proper Blokes Club there on the side of, and you'll see that on the side of every vehicle competing in the GT Alphas series. Little quick word about them. They are the it's the Proper Blokes Club. It is a mental health walk and talk outfit. So essentially they cover many boroughs of London, and a load of lads get together and it's just an opportunity to talk about anything that's bugging you, anything that's bothering you. They've got some walk-in centres, or they have a walk-in centre in London at the moment, but they are growing fast, and it's all about men's mental health and not bottling it up and having someone just to unload it on. And I apologise for my dog whining in the background. There's kids in my pool in the garden, and the dog is jealous and wants to get out there. Anyway, lap number 2. Stormfly already 1.2 seconds clear of Donato. Donato showing some incredible pace, keeping up with Stormfly. It's going to be an interesting race. I wonder if these guys are interested in signing up for the Alphas. It certainly would be a very good challenge for some of these guys. Of course, if it does require a 12-week commitment to a series. Don't know what their situation is like. Excuse me. So his dog going absolutely mental. It's driving me nuts, the whining. Right, so Stormfly leads from Donato. 1.2 seconds. It's 1.62 Mr. Nice. But he has got the Italian GI289 right behind him. If we look here, there's a little train forming From sort of TJ forward in 6th place. It's TJ who's got G-Mac just ahead of him, GI the Italian just ahead of him, and ahead of him, Mr. Nice and then GI. So it looks like Mr. Nice losing a place there through that penalty line. Did he have a penalty to serve? Side by side, you can see them just up ahead, still racing. Mr. Nice getting back ahead again. That was a good little move there. Let's see if we can see how he got that done. So yeah, up the inside, he did lose the place initially, but held that inside line very well. And you can see there, McLaren giving him plenty of room. Tries to force him a little bit wide there, but does hold on to that position well. And back into 3rd place goes Mr. Nice. Wrong button. There we go. That's what I wanted. So Stormfly still leads from Donato. Mr. Nice back up into 3rd. Further down the order, G-Mac in 4th. There is TJ in 5th. They're not pulling up. Well, what happened there? It looks like there's a problem. He's disconnected. So there was a problem there for GI, and he's decided the best way to deal with that is to rage quit. So all change. It's Mr. Nice, it's G-Mac, it's TJ up into 5th. Fubar 2.5 back. This is the kind of next bunch of guys. Yeah, so there we go. So already having a little bit of a strop, and to be fair, I didn't see much from Mr. Nice that demonstrated to me there was too many problems. He was just a little bit of a baby. Urban Fire, how the bloody hell are you, my friend? Good to see you. Not interested in getting involved, mate? Getting involved in the Alphas, racing one of the lower lobbies and showing everyone what you got. But it's good to see you, man. It's been a while. Obviously with my my recent health issues, I've not been around much. Tom Cash, or Thom Cash, a very Tron inspired Ferrari 458 there. That is a beautiful, beautiful livery. I don't think he may well have made that. He may be the guy that did it. But that is a very, very awesome livery. A lot of work went into that. You've got to give that a little bit of credit. That's pretty darn cool. Wiggy, he is back in 8th place. Has he stayed with... no, he hasn't. I thought he might have stayed with the Jag. He was running the Jag in the sprints on Monday. But now he's in that Porsche 911. So, not necessarily set his stall out on which car for Alphas just yet. He has painted up the Porsche already, though. So, has there been a little seed change? Has he done a bit of track testing and decided, actually, he's going to do this in the 911? Dalton from ART. And I've got to say, of the liveries submitted thus far, it's one of my favourites. It's a great little livery. There's Knudsen joining the room. He'll be in for the next race. Hopefully we see Knudsen in GT Alphas. That'd be awesome. But the ART livery is very, very cool. And they also their trademark blue and yellow colours. But yeah, no, it's very, very cool looking race car. That, very pleased with the look of that one. Saeed was pretty quick early doors, particularly in qualifying, but dropping down to 10th place. 1:41.2 his quickest lap in the race thus far. He is just half a second behind Dalton, sandwiched between the two Amigos drivers. Terminator there in that GT3 in 11th position. He's got a nice healthy gap, 3.8 seconds to Willard Gista, who is in the GTR. He has definitely set his stall and set his sights on that GTR for the Alpha series. Haven't seen him try anything else just yet, but I'm sure offline he's been whipping a few cars around the track. Grizz Troopers in that 911, and that's still the WSR livery. It's a great Porsche livery, to be fair. We run that in a Porsche Cup series, actually. That was our Porsche Cup livery. Very, very cool looking livery. And Jay there, he's in the is he in the McLaren? I believe he is in the McLaren. Looks like the McLaren to me. He is in the McLaren. That's his car of choice. Currently running in 14th place. Yellow flag up ahead. That is for who? Mr. Nice has left the room. Another rage quitter. How about that? Read into that what you will, but the two guys that were battling each other and knocking each other about a bit have both rage quit from the room. Now, the funny thing about it is both of them waited in the lobby for the race to start longer than they actually bothered to race for. Which strikes me as a bit frickin' stupid. So essentially, they strike me as the type of guys that only want to race when they're winning. And we don't want people like that. Get the hell out of here. See you later, you big pair of bellends. So Stormfly showing some incredible pace. 1:37.5 is current fastest lap. And I don't know why I'm holding the keyboard when I've got a perfectly good, holding the drip up and I've got a perfectly good keyboard here to do the controls. There is a massive, massive spider just coming down by the side of my head. So bear with me while I cut it in half with some scissors. No, I'm only joking. That would be a risky move. I'm going to pick it up with some tissue because I know what'll happen is the girls will see it when they come in from the pool. It will set off a chain reaction of screaming and we'll all have burst eardrums. So that's one spider wrapped up in some tissue. I'll chuck him out later. He'll probably escape from it, but the girls won't be able to see it. So who cares? So Stormfly is dominating 2.1 seconds, starting to pull away from the GTR of the German driver Donato. But these two really dominating at the moment here at Dragon Trail. Osman joining the room. Good to see Osman. He will be joining us in GT Alphas as well. So it'll be good to see how he fares in the next race. I'm not going to reveal the track yet. It is 4 tracks we haven't yet done in these preview series. I know one of them is not going to be popular, but we're going to do them all, so it doesn't really matter. But there we go. So Donato, 6.1 seconds, the gap to GMAC. That's the two Nismos. Looking at them. Look at those Nismos. The livery, very simple, but that's the livery specifically from the car of the movie, the Gran Turismo movie. Haven't seen it yet myself, but here it's pretty good. But I'm not going to pay. Well, to be fair, I can't go out at the moment anyway because I'm sick. But I'm not going to pay 30 quid to go and watch a movie in the cinema. Just because I don't want to. Oh, GMAC gets a bit wiggly coming out of that chicane of death. Does that give TJ a good run on him? We're certainly closing on the back in that McLaren into the final corner. Can he use that momentum to catch back up and use that little mistake there from GMAC to close in and steal a place in the top 3? How freaking hot is it now? I don't know where you are in the world, right? But here in Britain, it's the hottest day like on record or something ridiculous like that. It's certainly the hottest day it's ever had this year, and it is freaking ridiculous, man. Now, my son was away playing his Rocket League in a tournament, and I snaffled his air conditioning unit that he bought himself, which I've had for a couple of days, and it's been lovely in my little studio. Which I've been sleeping in as well because it's downstairs and it's easier and stuff. Oh, Fubar gets that all kinds of wrong. What happened there? All kinds of wrong for Fubar. Gets on the gas a little bit too soon there by the looks of things. Or was he caught by a Wiggy? We'll have a little look here. I didn't think he was, but on the brakes he goes. On the power, no, that was just bravery, massive bravery with that loud pedal. And, just snaffling off into the wall. Yes, I snaffled the air conditioning unit. It was lovely. And then he returned from his tournament this morning and immediately took it back. And I'm so disappointed because I was kind of hoping he'd want to stay at his tournament for an extra day and just fart around and go out with his mates and all that. But no, that wasn't to be. And he didn't win the tournament either. They came 4th. And won 100 quid each or something. Oh, who's that? That's Tom. Who was that? That was Tom Cash. Tom Cash going all wiggly woggly. Let's see what happened to him. It's got to have something to do with the chicane of death, surely. As he comes through the chicane of death in that 458, does he clip the wall? No, it didn't look like he clipped it, but it was the curb, and it looks like he just lost control on that second curb coming out of the death chicane. Which is going to cost him some pace, of course. So, Tom Cash into the pits. We have got it on light damage. Be aware that during the actual GT Alphas, these feature races will be heavy damage. So, don't drive like a bellend. We're doing it on light damage because it's a little bit of fun, just messing around. You know the skinny boys. So, Stormfly really putting his dominance, putting it down on the track. Fastest lap and 2.3 seconds clear, managing his pace very well. Shall we have a little look at tyres and fuel? That's how it's looking after 8 laps of driving here. Fuel just under halfway point. So they should be able to make it to the end without a fuel stop, but certainly the tyres are going to be a factor. You can see there that already there's a lot of wear on that left-hand side. So interesting for him. Let's leave that off so we can have a look down the order. How's Donato doing in the GTR? GTR very similar, actually. Probably a little bit better on, certainly on the rear tyre there. G-Mac in the GTR. We know G-Mac. G-Mac doesn't care for looking after anything. Nice bit of wear on that front left tyre for him. Now, the McLaren, really, really well. Doing well on not only tyre wear, but also fuel as well. Looking pretty darn good. Wiggy in the Porsche. The Porsche a bit heavier on fuel. Very similar on tyres, although the rears seem to have a bit more wear than the fronts. So interesting, you've got the two middle engine cars in the McLaren and the Porsche, and it's the Porsche actually gives a bit more strain on the rears. I mean, that could be down, we don't know what brake balance these guys are running. There could be an element of brake balance settings there. They are able to set their own brake balance, but the McLaren seems to be a little bit better on those tyres. But Wiggy plodding along and up to 5th place. Saeed, the first I shouldn't say that he's the second non-black flag runner, running in 6th position in the 458. He's done a really good job actually with tyre wear and fuel. Fubar, we saw him have that little wiggly. Now we know that this Corvette does not like front tyres, and you can see there is going to have to be a pit stop soon for Fubar to make it to the end. Willard has already pit by the looks of things and switched out for some medium tyres. Now, there is no specific necessity for medium tyres. If I remember rightly, there is no specific tyre requirements for Alphas. You basically use whatever tyres you want, if I remember rightly, or is it 2 compounds? I'm going to have to check now because I can't remember whether it is 2 compounds. Hold the line, caller, while I check the rules. I wrote the rules and I still can't remember. Let's have a little look here. Race format. I think it will be under, won't it? Race format. Tyre and fuel. I don't know. I don't actually think there is. I don't think there is a specific. No, there's no specific rules about tyres. Any tyre or combination of tyres can be used. So yeah, so they don't have to use medium or soft or all those tyres. They can use any tyre they like. So interesting choice actually from Willard to put the mediums on, because this, clearly, if you're going to change your tyres, it's a soft race. Saying that, did he start on the mediums? He may well have started on the medium tyres. I don't think he has pit. No, so he started. So actually the mediums are going to run easily to the end here, or to the end of this particular race. To the end of these 14 laps. Right, let's have a look at the back of the pack. Where's Jay? We seem to have lost Jay. Is Jay disconnected? Has he had oh no, Jay's up there. Jay's in 8th place, so that's a good little run there from Jay. He's ahead of Willard. How did I not notice that ahead of Willard? At the back of the pack there's Tom Cash. He went into the pits after having that spin out of the death chicane. He's 1.6 seconds behind Terminator from ART. And they're still sandwiching someone. This time it's the American Anthony Grizz Troopers in the Porsche 911. He is 5.4 clear of Terminator. He's 7.7 behind Dalton. And that's a lovely little ART sandwich going on right there with some juicy Grizz in the middle. But Willard under significant pressure from Dalton now. Is Dalton going to make this move up the inside? He does get that move up the inside. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. Is the old switcheroo on though? That's the switcheroo. And Willard lets him take the inside line and gets the better exit and pulls the old switcheroo. Here we go. You can see here. He gets a great run, actually, does Dalton, up the inside. But because he's got a much tighter line, it allows Willard to go that little bit deeper and get on that power that little bit earlier and regain 9th place here on lap 10, starting lap 11 now. So Willard stays in 9th, chasing down Jay, 7/10 of a second up the road. This is the battle at the moment, and Jay going very wide. Does that give Willard a way in? They're going to drag race this down here. Now, Jay's going to have the inside line, or does he? He concedes that inside line. So Willard gets a double move done. End of lap 10, beginning of lap 11, and he's up to 8th position. Jay, though, picking up that slipstream all the way down the hill to the seafront. Can he make a good move up the inside? Well, Willard covering off that inside straight away. Does not want Jay diving up the inside into this big hairpin, and just covers off the potential for that move and for the switch as well. So Jay going to stay tucked in behind. Dirty air now going through the death chicane. We can watch it on board from Dalton's car. All three through safely. Dalton very, very close to the walls there. Dicing with the death chicane, but gets an absolutely phenomenal exit on those soft compound tyres. Again, looking up the inside, makes the move on Jay. Willard cutting it off, doesn't let him through, and actually hampers the move on Jay as well. So Willard not only protects himself from Dalton making a move up the inside, but actually stops Dalton from making the move on Jay, because he has to just back off that momentum to avoid an accident. So good little move there from Willard, and gets himself a friend, makes himself a mate in saving Jay from an overtake there. So a good racing all round. And apart from the little fisticuffs between the two rage-quitting bellends early on, it's been pretty darn good. Jay having a little look at the back of Willard. It's still going on here between these three. This battle is not over. Round the outside goes Dalton. Can he make that move stick? That's a great move round the outside of Jay. They're now drag racing down towards this long section that takes you to the beach. Jay tucked in behind Willard. Is that going to make a significant difference when Dalton can't hold on? Jay just has that slipstream, gives him that extra bit of momentum, but Dalton tucked in nicely behind. It is GTR versus McLaren. Those McLarens operating exactly the same machinery. Dalton having a look up the inside into this hairpin. Move not on, has to back out again. This is a really, really close fought battle between these cars. All three of them running so close together. Death chicane again. Does he get the similar exit? Does he dice with the walls in the same way he did before? Again, very close to the walls, almost clipping on the way out. Has to adjust the car a little bit. Does lose a bit of that momentum. Not going to be in a position to try that little move up the inside this time round. Jay can't have a look. Willard cutting it off very, very well. Very good defensive driving. Goes a bit wide. Jay looking to possibly drag race. Tucks in again into that slipstream. And this is on between these guys. Lap 12 of 14. Let's have a quick look down the rest of the order, and we'll come back to this battle. We'll say come back to this battle. I thought Jay was going to make a move then on Willard. He's on the inside, or he was on the inside. There, obviously the outside going into this corner. Willard gets a little bit shaky. Is that enough for Jay to make his move through? Willard getting shaky again. It is McLaren putting pressure on the GTR. Jay with the inside line. Willard just holding on. Dear life, fingernails holding on to that position. Jay makes the overtake, gets that job done. Brilliant move there from Jay to get up into 8th position. Is Dalton going to do the same now on this GTR? As the tyres on these three cars, as you can see, starting to go off. Well, not so much for Willard, actually. Willard's tyres looking pretty damn good. Sorry for the screaming in the background. It's the girls in the pool. I haven't locked anybody in my basement, I promise. As we head down here, we were going to go and look at the rest of the field, but this battle is fully on. Willard on the inside, cutting that off from Dalton. Jay, little touch there. Does that give Willard the momentum? He does have to back out. He did give Jay a little nudge there. Dalton doesn't have to back off. Dalton tucks right in behind Willard into the death chicane for the penultimate time. Through safely, abso-freaking-lutely. And this is still on between these three. Is there a move into the final corner? And can we go and have a look at somebody else on this last lap? Going for the switcheroo is Dalton. Not quite enough. Oh, actually good momentum there out of that corner. He's going to make the move on Willard. He got a much better run out of that final hairpin, and side by side makes the move. Jay just putting a little bit of a gap, gets a little bit of a breather as these two fight it out, and that is Dalton up into 9th position. So further up the order, there is Stormfly, still maintaining that 2.3 second lead. He's made that the tyres and the fuel last the distance. So he knows now that you can take it this far into the race. And this is good data for the Alphas series that people are going to be getting from these races. So if you are signed up to Alphas, do get involved in some of these Monday night or Saturday night tester sessions, because you will get really good, really important data on car, tyre and fuel performance. Obviously the weather setting's not quite the same, and there will be heavy damage in the races, but every bit of data helps. Donato holding on very well with Stormfly, and they will cross the line. Stormfly takes the win. Donato home in second. GMAC, despite being in the same car as Donato, can't match the blistering pace. He's had TJ for company the whole time. That GTR and the McLaren comes in third for GMAC, fourth for TJ. Wiggy in a world of his own, 6.2 seconds back from TJ, comes across in fifth place. 3.8 seconds to Said Jr., or no, Said IR. He comes across the line in sixth. 16 seconds back to Fubar in that Corvette. That is the highest performing car that is not a Porsche or a McLaren or a GTR. In fact, it's a lone Corvette out there. Good performance from Fubar in seventh, despite his little foray with a wall earlier on. Dalton has got ahead of Jay. I don't know what happened there. We missed that battle. He's got ahead of Jay. Crossed the line. 8th for him, 9th for Jay, 10th in the end for Willard. That's Tom Cash holding on for 11th. Grid Troopers in 12th. And Terminator in 13th. Just coming around through the death chicane. It looks like he's had a foray with a wall somewhere. Yeah, a bit of damage on that car. Those tyres looking pretty ropey. So only actually Tom Cash, I think, went into the pits in that race. So interesting to see the how that we can drag these tyres and fuel out this distance. Now that's here at Dragon Trail. You know, we've got 3 more tracks to do. It'll be interesting to see if the data remains the same across these cars, and across the line goes Terminator, finally done. And I do need to change the timing on the race timer, because that was darn close to not finishing it in time. And there we have it. Good little race there. How's about that? So let's get the next lobby up, and then we'll have a little 5-minute break, shall we? So I couldn't do it like this because I've loaded it all up already. Lake Maggiore. That's Maggiore. We'll bring up the calendar. There you go. Lake Maggiore will be round 6 of the series. We're going to go with the random weather. We're not going to go with anything. Race finished today. It's up to 880 seconds actually. It's where it needs to be. 14 laps again. Same old. Change event settings so we can see there. We will let them know what we're going to look at. 40 starts, shall we? Yeah, so 5-minute break for everybody. That is the schedule for Alphas. I will be back in a couple of minutes. have returned. Yeah, good racing from everybody, actually, yeah. And I'm really, really looking forward to this series because I think once we sorted the lobbies out and we've got everyone racing around their level, so we're going to have the A drivers together, we're going to have the Bs and Cs and everything. Everyone's going to be racing in their kind of lobbies. I think it's going to be quite close racing, and I'm really looking forward to this series. This series is brought to you, of course, by Black Flag Racing. It will be exclusively live here on Black Flag Racing TV. It may be broadcast somewhere else. Well, depends. I'm in negotiation with another broadcaster who would like to broadcast. So we may have an additional outlet for some of the lower lobbies, but we will see what we will see. Yeah, and of course it's brought to you as well by the Proper Blokes Club, as I was saying. Proper Blokes Club, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Check them out on Facebook and their website. Details are down in the description. Do just have a little look, give them a little like on Facebook, and yeah, keep talking, boys. Keep talking. That's absolutely fine, Dalton. You sit it out. It is very, very hot, guys. So yeah, if you're sitting one out, that's fine. I think we're pretty much ready to go. Let's ready up for everybody. We've got Newton joining us. We've got Osman joining us. Osman already signed up, of course, for the Alphas. I'm hoping to get Newton involved as well. Dalton's going to sit it out, just waiting for Stormfly to tick in. If he is going to tick in, of course. Where is he? Let's find him on the list and remind him. He keeps needing to be reminded to tick in today, man. Unusual for Aaron. He's normally one of the first to be clicking that button. Yeah, phenomenal race from him in that first one. Picking up some really good results. Good to see the ART guys coming to join us and having a little watch and seeing how they're getting on. Any more you ART guys want to get involved, there is spaces available. Be good to have you involved with it. He is ticked in now, so let's get cracking with qualifying number 2. I think everything's still working. I think I've got everything working. I've been playing around with everything today, so I think everything's working as it should be, because broadcasting will start to ramp back up again towards the end of my coming towards the end of my treatment and stuff. So looking good thus far. So new drivers. What have we got? We've got Newton. Newton's new to the room. He's joined us. Of course, we've got where is he? Osman. Osman, very quick driver. Don't count this guy out. He's not. There's a reason he's A+. Do not count this guy out. Right, so Lego Maggiore. This will be round number 6 of the midway point actually for the series. GMAC again in that GTR. Newton also going with the GTR, the Nola Racing GTR. He's a good driver, Newton. Again, another driver not to be sniffed at. We'll do an on-board for the hot lap with GMAC. Oh, GMAC's not actually the first out on the track, is it? It's Tom Cash in that beautiful Tron-inspired Ferrari 458. So we'll do the on-board with Thom, shall we? Oh, no, he's not the lead driver, is he? Who is the lead? Oh, who's staying in the pit? Who hasn't come out the pitch yet? Someone's not come out the pitch yet. Saeed's not come out the pitch yet. That could be a problem, because if he's still in there, then it's only 5-minute qualifying. You haven't got long to make sure that you get a time set. So here is Fubar. He's sticking with that Corvette for the time being. Clearly quite happy with its performance in the last race. And this is a good opportunity, actually. These little teaser races that we're doing. So what we're doing on a Monday, we're doing a sprint format, 7 laps, sprint format, the sprint format, full sprint format settings. On a Saturday, we're doing the sort of longer format, but 14 laps, not quite the full 40 minutes. And we're not putting on the hard damage is being kept, or the heavy damage is being kept for the series itself. But we'll be running through all 12 tracks leading up to the qualifier on the 23rd of September. So it gives everyone an opportunity to test all the cars that they would like to test out. So here we go, Lego Maggiore sticking to this right-hand side, full power, braking and getting that turn in. You want to get it down into second gear, staying in second gear for the second part there to turn 2. You have to drop down again just to get that rotation before you flick it back up. Powering round, a little lift maybe, yeah, a little lift there. As you come down to this almost like a hairpin turn, but you can really abuse the track limits on the way out, heading down the hill. Now, the next braking zone is braking slightly around the corner. You want to get most of your hard braking done in a straight line and then trail brake it round, not really clipping much of the apex there, because you want to try and use as much road as possible, because it's uphill and you've got the camber, which helps a little bit. Tricky section here. You can power through here with a little lift here and there just to get it over those rumble strips. As long as you're keeping 2 wheels on the tarmac, no penalties to be had. Full power through here, and then you start heading down the hill. Very, very big braking zone at the bottom of the hill here. Remember as well, because you're downhill, there is a slight camber on the turn, which helps you get it round, but the camber more on the way out. Avoiding going wide, because you're going to be very, very sandy. Flicking it round to the left-hand side, staying left, because you can then stay full pelt to the right, flicking it to the right, using all that curve. Next braking zone, 50-metre boards. You just want to get touched on the brakes, down a couple of gears, try and keep that momentum through here, little lift to get it turned again. You don't want to get anything lower than 3rd gear here. Again, flicking it around up to 4th as you blast down to the final corner. Very, very tricky corner, because it's a very early turn in, and then you've got a very, very wide exit. So if you can get the car slowed down early on, get it turned early, you really can get a fantastic exit out of here. That is a 57.5 for Fubar. Newton immediately responds with a 56.5. And then GMAC responds further with a 56.4 in that GTR. So do we see a little seat change with the different cars here? Are we going? And we saw it actually. We saw it on Monday. The AMG GT3 was a very, very good car overall, but some tracks the McLaren was very, very strong. Some cracks maybe. Some tracks that AMG GT3 was pretty good. We've seen here the Porsches have been good. GTR's good here. McLaren going to be good here, but at the moment it's the GTR dominating. GMAC with that 56.4. They are going to get another hot lap just. Newton on that front row with a 56.5. He's also in that GTR. Wiggy, he's in the Porsche 911. He's currently on that 2nd row. He's getting another crack at the whip. 56.6 for him. With Osman in that Supra. He's a big fan of that Supra and gets a lot of pace out of it. 56.9 for him. No change to that top 4 as yet. Donato, good 2nd place, 2 seconds behind Stormfly in that last race. 57.3 for him. He is in the AMG GT3 this time round. Stormfly sticking with that AMG. Be interesting battle now. They're both in the same car. They were both pretty quick last time out. Stormfly will only gets a 57.3 though on that last lap, but he is up on his previous time. Fubar with his 57.5 down in 7th. Just ahead of the first of the Amigos guys, Terminator, down in 8th place with a 58.4. TJ, nothing separates them, 58.5 for him. And he's got Tom Cash crawling all over the back of him at the moment. Or no, sorry, that's GMAC, sorry, crawling all over the back of him. Tom Cash with a 59.3 in 10th. Willard with a 2-minute dead. Jay with a 1:59.5, jumping ahead of Willard there. And Grizz Troopers 2:02. He's still got a lap to go though. Newton does improve with a 55.7. That's a phenomenal lap there from Newton. Osman with a 55.8 puts himself on that front row in that Supra. GMAC 55.8 does improve, but 18/100th of a second between him and Osman is not enough for him to gain a front row place. Stormfly busts his way into row 2 with a 56.2, knocking Wiggy down into 5th position. He can't improve that time out. Donato does improve, but not enough. Fubar doesn't improve his time. Terminator does, but drops him down as well. So quick run through of the grid. 55.7, good lap from Knudsen. That's him and Osman on row 1. Row 2 is GMAC and Stormfly. Wiggy and Donato on row 3. Fubar and Terminator row 4. Row 5 is TJ and Tom Cash. Ka-ching. Row 6 is Jay and Willard. Grizz Troopers and Saeed Jr. Saeed Jr. not setting a lap on row number 7. There we have it. So make sure everyone's got their tyres in place. I don't know what tyres people are going to opt for. I imagine the soft compounds again. Let's give them the ready signal and tell them we're about to go. And then we will get cracking with another race here. Right, let's go. So, 14 laps at Lego Maggiore in the GT Alphas preview open lobby. If you want to get involved in GT Alphas, you know what to do. All the links are there on the YouTube.
What do we want? Race car noises. When do we want them? Meow.
That will never, ever, 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 ever get old. Right, let's have it. 14 laps. Newton leading the way. Can he be in the lead into turn 1? It's an interesting run down to turn 1. And the potential for some shenanigans. That is a phenomenal start from Stormfly around the outside. Can he make the move into turn 1? I don't know why I'm going on board. I should really be looking at everybody. It looks pretty clean. No one's dead. Put it that way. No one's dead through turn 1. But Newton does hold on. But Stormfly, great start from Stormfly in that AMG. Gets him up into second position. GMAC in third. Osman in fourth. He loses a couple of places there to Stormfly and GMAC. So a bit bogged down off the line. Who's that sideways? There's a sideways car. Let's have a little look. Tom Cash getting a massive penalty. So clearly he's... it looks like he's ploughed into the back of somebody. Oh, look, there's a little touch there, actually. Stargroot and TJ have coming together. And Tom Cash, I don't know what happened with Tom Cash, but it looks like he barged his way through to pick up that penalty. Yeah, to me, it looks like he just powered his way through and picked up a penalty. So, yeah, not a great start from... So, Wiggy had to come together with TJ there. That's cost us the time. Fubar losing some time as well in that instant. He was actually clumped by Tom Cash by the looks of it. How much responsibility does Tom Cash have to take for that? Well, the game deems that 4-second penalty was worthwhile. So, yeah, I mean, make of it what you will. I didn't actually save the replay from the last race, and I really, really should have done, because I need it for videos in it, brethren. But there we have it. Moving swiftly on. So Newton does still lead. GMAX made a move up into second. Don't know if we're going to get to see that. We were too busy watching the crashy shenanigans. Well, yeah, drag race there with that AMG, and just getting that inside line and making the move. So good move there from GMAC up into second. How are the tyres and fuel going to hold out here? I can imagine it's going to be a little bit more tyre intensive than the Dragon Trail was. A lot of long straights on the Dragon Trail. This is a little bit more, requires a little bit more finesse. My God, it's so hot. My fans are literally just blowing hot air into my face, but I don't turn them off in case it gets hotter. That's the problem. Hotter. Proper South London, isn't it? A little penalty there for Osman. That'll be a track limits with a half-second penalty there. That's going to put him right into the firing line there of Sudonato from Germany. The German is marching on in the German car. Chasing down, of course, Osman. Osman going to serve that penalty shortly. But I don't think Osman's close enough, really, to make a move. Donato's close enough to make a move on Osman. We will see what we will see. Terminator there up into sixth. Good start from the Amigos driver in that beautiful, beautiful ART livery. 2.5 behind Donato. He's got TJ 1.4 seconds back. Bit of a gap to Grizz Troopers, 4.5. He's got Wiggy for company. Wiggy looking to make a charge forward after getting involved in that little bit of a shenanigan early doors. There is Wiggy. He's tucked him right behind Grizz. Looking up the inside into this big, big braking zone. Gets that move done quite convincingly. Over to, TJ's got that all kinds of wrong. What happened to him? Can we find out where TJ went wrong in that McLaren? So he comes, you can see him come down the hill here. Does he catch? Oh, he gets a little bit brave with the loud pedal and just turns it around and loses a couple of places. So you can't park that there, mate. I've got a song for can't park that there, mate, which I'm going to put on the soundboard when I have done it. That drops TJ behind Willard, 2.4 seconds behind Willard, with Fubar and Alpha Company in that Corvette. So he's going to be chasing him down in the Corvette to try and gain a position on the Dutch driver. Tom Cash at the back after that horrific smash in that 458. The car might look good, but that wasn't the best quality looking driving Thom of Switzerland. Of course, Switzerland not famous for racing driving, of course, because they aren't allowed. Racing driving is banned, believe it or not. I don't know if you knew this. Racing driving is illegal in Switzerland. George's having a drink because it's fucking hot. Yeah, they do hill climbs, but they don't do actual car racing. Who would have thunk it? Newton really dominant in the GTR around here. 2.2 seconds now. 1:55 to his fastest lap. We're on lap 3 of 14 laps. Stormfly and G-Max still battling out. It looks like the GTR very strong. Dalton is starting a party with me. I don't know why he's starting a party with me, because I don't do party chat when I'm on the comms. I can't do both because I've only got one headset and I use it through my computer. Nice try, Dalton, though. If you want to, I don't know if I've got it set up on the... I haven't got it set up on the Discord. I will set up on the Discord for the next one, and then you can jump in the chat with me on the next one through Discord, mate. Yeah. But thanks for the invite, though. It would have been nice to have had you alongside me. But I haven't put the Discord chat in the broadcast chat. I wasn't expecting to have company, in all fairness. Stormfly and GMAC really bad out. The AMGs and the GT3 Nissans really strong here. Really strong. Where's Osman in that Supra? There he is, just hanging on to the back of that that battle for essentially for second position. You can see here you've got Donato in the GT3. You've got ahead of him GMAC in the he's in the AMG GT3. You've got GMAC in the Nissan GTR, and ahead of him again in the AMG GT3 is Stormfly. And you can hardly right there, that speck right up in the distance, just heading into that turn now. That is Newton, your current race leader, and what a change from race number 1. The dominance of Stormfly in that first race, and Donato getting it all kinds of wrong there, gets a little bit wiggly, and that just allows Osman to close that gap. Can he get a good run now on Donato as they're heading through this twisty S section, which will take them down Wizard's Sleeve. So basically his name's Fanny. Yeah, we all know what Wizard's Sleeve is, don't we? Can he get a run on him down here and make a move up the inside? Don't think he's quite close enough. Or is he? Slipstream is strong. Excuse me, getting a very good run down to Donato. I think I drank too much fizzy pop. I've got something. What's in my pocket? Oh, that's what it is in my pocket. It's the. I've got the tissue in my pocket from my catheter. I don't know what that's in there. It's just stop it getting wet, I think. Did look like he was going to make a run on him, but didn't really get the momentum to get that done. How are we looking? Where's Terminator? There he is. He's 5.1 seconds back. His teammate Dalton sitting this one out because it is crazy hot, sweating like a Radio 2 DJ in a U-Tree investigation. For those of you not in the UK, that is a reference to the BBC employing a fuck ton of paedophiles in the 60s and 70s and just letting them basically fuck children in Television House. There we go, moving swiftly on. Is that libelous? I don't think it is libelous because it's known fact that they've hidden paedophiles from the world. Do you know what, BBC? Fucking sue me. We'll take it to court and then we can ask the question, have you shielded paedophiles? Star Groot, or Wiggy as he's otherwise known, the Welsh Wizard, sticking with that Porsche 911. 4.9, 5 seconds behind Terminator at the moment. So it's looking to me, it's very clear to me that the Mercedes and the GT are very strong here at Lego Maggiore. There's Jay in the McLaren. McLaren's not quite so strong. So this is where it's a good opportunity. This shows there's a good opportunity to pick different cars, because there are tracks where this McLaren is absolutely OP. But as you can see, there are tracks where the GTR and that AMG just head and shoulders above, and that is all kinds of wrong for Dre. Don't know what happened there, but he got that very, very wrong, and he is now plumb last. We won't give him the indignity of a replay on that. So, shall we do it on board with Knudsen and just see how he gets this kind of pace out of this car? Because 2.7 seconds, and he's still opening the gap, and very consistent as well. 55.7, 55.5, 55.9, incredibly consistent laps. 56.0 quickest for GMAC. No other driver yet sub 50. I was going to say no one sub 56. Stormfly did a sub 56 on lap 2. Wizard Sleeve came in, he left the room. Dave Clark has joined. What about the other 4 of the Dave Clark 5? Are they coming? That's a no. They're clearly off. The other 4 of the Dave Clark 5 couldn't fit in a room, so they disappeared. That is a reference to a 1960s British band, I think, whose song "Glad All Over" was covered by the 1990 Crystal Palace FA Cup team. Glad all over, yes, Sam. Let's not get copyright infringement, because they love that shit here at YouTube. Right, so GMAC and Stormfly still battling it out for dominance in the 2nd and 3rd positions. Now, I can tell you this. Looking at tyres thus far, these guys are going to need to stop. It's not going to be a case of taking these soft tyres to the end of this race here. So already we're starting to get some information about each individual track and how it affects the different cars and how it affects your tyres and your fuel consumption. That, you know, the tyres here are looking the same as they were on lap 8 and lap 9 at Dragon Trail. And we're going to see, and we'll reveal to the world just what the tyres are looking like, because this is, you know, we're not hiding anything. This data is for everybody getting involved. And you see Knudsen there been very, very studious with his tyres, really looking after them, and still managing to pull out a massive gap. That's incredibly smooth driving from the Danish driver. Brilliant performance from him. Be really, really good to see Knudsen and some other Nola guys in this GT Alphas. I will give him a nudge later and see if we can get him involved. GMAC is holding on to the GTR, proving to be quite strong here, but there is definitely going to be a pit stop in the very near future for GMAC. He loves a pit stop, does GMAC. As Osman proves my point and into the pits he goes. Stormfly, he's going to be able to hang out a little bit longer, so the AMG a little bit better on tyres, clearly. There is Donato. His tyres looking pretty good as well. Terminator, yeah, not looking bad. Again, it's the AMG. It's not too bad on tyres, is it not? What about that 911? Well, the 911 looking okay, and actually probably make it to the end. So I think GMAC might be the only one in that top 6 that definitely has to pit. Osman did dive in. He's got a fresh set of racing soft boots on. The gap to Wiggy, 6.7 seconds. His quickest lap was a 56.4. Wiggy with a 56.2. So certainly some work to do if he wants to close that gap on Wiggy. He is 6.4 ahead of Grizz Troopers, running comfortably at 8th at the moment. I say comfortably as you can be with a on-the-charge TJ, just half a second behind you in the McLaren. We can see the McLaren is not super OP around here, as it has been on some other circuits. So, is it time to rethink the McLaren revolution, maybe? This is my prediction, is that when we opened registration for Alphas, I think it was quite clear then that the preferred car was probably going to be the 650S McLaren, which is a phenomenal motor car. There was some thought that the 911 would feature. It always does in these sort of things, particularly in GT3 racing. But out of nowhere, really, and no one really banded it around much other than Slipstream, was that AMG Mercedes. And then after the sprint races on Monday, the AMG is seeing a little bit of a I would say resurgence is the wrong word, a little bit of and revival as well, a little bit of a growth, shall we say, in popularity. The GTR, that's always going to be a popular car, and it is performing well out in the upper echelons at the moment. Who was that in the pits? So that was GMAC. He comes out in 6th. That's Stormfly up into 2nd. GMAC coming just ahead of Osman. Now, Osman's tyres are up to pace already in that Supra. Is Osman going to find a way around GMAC? GMAC's showing some good pace, actually, holding off Stormfly in 2nd for a while. There's Football. He's in that Corvette. No doubt in my mind that Corvette was going to chew through the tyres. That's what it does. Let's have a quick look at the back of his car, if we can, because that is right there. You can see there on the back of the car. In fact, if we do it from in the car like that, oh, you can't see it that way around. How disappointing. That is the Proper Blokes Club logo right there on the back of that. Can't get a good angle to see it. The wing's in the way, and I can't get above the car. But no, looking pretty darn awesome. And again on the side there. And Jay, of course, now 650S, we saw him hit the wall. He's struggling a little bit. It's interesting that people come into the room, and you know, if you come in and leave straight away, you know, that's your prerogative. You come in and sit for 5 minutes and think, oh, sorry, I can't bother to wait. You know, why did you waste 5 minutes waiting in the first place? You know, it is what it is. Mate, it is very possible they're seeing how quick the guys are thinking, I'm not racing with them, they're super quick. And at the moment, Newton is just chucking in lap after lap, a phenomenal pace. 56.6 his last lap. He has dropped off the pace a little bit as Stormfly diving into the pits. Now, the question really here now, Donato, is he going to follow Stormfly in? He's not this lap. Is he going to go in the next couple of laps? And what about Newton in that GTR? Is he trying to take that GTR to the end? Or is he planning on whipping into the pits as well in that Nola Racing 63 car of Newton? It would be really interesting to see if Kenneth can do it. That is his name. Kenneth Knudsen is his name. And driving fast is his game. 9.8 seconds his current lead, with a 55.5 on the board. Donato, the German, featuring, well, he was 2nd last time out. He is currently 2nd now, but there is a question mark over whether he needs to replace those tyres in that Petronas liveried Mercedes AMG. It looks a little bit like something Lewis Hamilton would drive, so I would like to see it wrap around a tree with Lewis Hamilton in it. There is Wiggy running in 3rd now. He's held out really well on those tyres, and actually could potentially take this to the end if those rears can hold out. Terminator as well up into that top 4. He's got an on-rushing GMAC behind him though, and behind GMAC is Osman, so he has made a bit of a gap on Osman. GMAC came out just ahead of him after his pit stop. Osman putting in his fastest lap of the race with a 55.8 on that last lap. GMAC gets ahead of Terminator. Can we see how he got that job done? It looked to be a relatively simple manoeuvre. You can see they're just running down to this big cambered switchback. And yeah, up the inside, it's a very, very prominent overtaking part of this racetrack. A racetrack actually you don't see as often. I don't see it as often as I'd like. It's a good, solid racing circuit, Lago Maggiore. It is a fictional circuit, but Lake Maggiore in itself is an actual place in Italy, and that's where it's centered around. So Donato coming into the pits. That just plays into the hands of Kenneth Newton as GMAC regains 2nd. So Wiggy in, Donato in, Newton now 21 seconds. 21 seconds clear of GMAC. Is it enough to get in, get tyres, and get the flock out? That is the hunker burning question, because I'm not sure 21 seconds is enough. It's going to be close if it is, but I'm not sure it's enough. I haven't checked pit loss. I will, between now and the actual series, check pit loss times for all the tracks. Something else as well. Anyone from Black Flag watching that hasn't done it, you'll see that there is a statistics tracker that Patrick has put in our Discord, And you can go in there, and every time you do a lap in a car and whatever, and you log your times in there, and it tracks your statistics over time. So once you've put in a great deal of laps, you can start to build a pattern of how you're improving or where you need to improve, how you compare to other drivers, that kind of thing. So do get it filled in. I know it's a bit of a pain in the arse, but do fill it in as you put laps down, particularly during your practice sessions. It just gives it gives you an idea of where you stack up against everybody else in terms of time, but it also helps you see where you can make improvements, and how you've been improving. You can physically see the improvements in the sheet. Right, so Newton going in. So here we get to see what the pit loss time is. So we're just waiting now for his car to come to a standstill. Where's GMAC? GMAC's still yet to come round that final corner. So here he comes. Is he going to gain the lead of this race? It certainly looks like it. Newton just coming out now. Newton just out, just ahead of GMAC. I think just ahead. He's 3 seconds clear. But remember, GMAC is already up to speed on those worn-in tyres. Newton's going to have to get a little bit of heat into his just to get them firing properly. Can GMAC make use of that? Now, Osman, half-second penalty for him, but he's up to third in that Supra. 2.9 ahead of Stormfly, and we're on lap 11 of 14 here at Lago Maggiore. If you're just joining us, this is the GT Alphas GR3 or GT3 World Championship pre-season open testing. So we are setting up lobbies on a Monday evening for sprint testing, and on a Saturday for testing on the longer runs. GR3 cars only, just brake balance available, BOP for the rest. Any GR3 car except for the VGT stuff. How you doing? And Nigel, good to see you, my friend. How the bloody hell are you? You are catching the preview for our upcoming GT3 World Championship this side of the pond, which will be interesting because actually we'll have this, and the end of our season will probably overlap with the beginning of the GTC World Cup. So that'll be interesting. We'll have some races over here on this side of the pond at 8 p.m. UK time, and then sort of around 11 p.m. UK time. And a lot of these drivers will be jumping on again to compete in the GTC World Cup. So interesting warm-up, really, for a lot of those guys. But yeah, I mean, if you can find the time on a Saturday afternoon, it'd be good to have a couple of you RWB guys involved with us here. But Newton leads the way at the moment, 2.4 seconds. He has got that GTR swinging, as has GMAC running in second. 155.3 from GMAC. That is the fastest lap of the race last time out. Osman, he's done a really good job in that Supra. Gained a lot of time through the pit stop window. Put in some really, really solid times after his pit. He pit quite early, remember, Osman, and it's got him up into that top three. Winner of the last race, Stormfly, in that AMG GT3. At the moment, struggling to find a way into the top three. The GTR is just dominating here. Terminator from Amigos, half a second penalty for him. The Danish driver, got two Danish drivers actually. We've got Newton out in first and Terminator there in fifth. He is also in the AMGs. The AMG's running fourth and fifth at the moment. Well, fourth, fifth and sixth, because that's Donato. Second in the last race. He tucked in behind Terminator. Can he find a way through? It's all on car performance. Now, bear in mind that Terminator's got that half-second penalty. And we know that Donato's got significant pace. I think we could very well see a position change very, very shortly. Donato might even get this done at the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. He's tucked right in behind Terminator. We can see here just how close he is to the back of him. Terminator sticking to that inside line. He knew that he was going to lose that place to Donato. So actually moving off the racing line, which was quite a sporting thing for him to do. And of course, we love sporting behaviour here at Black Flag and across the world, of course. There is Terminator. Back in sixth. He's still got 4.5 seconds off of Wiggy. Wiggy running in that Porsche 911. We thought, on Monday he was running in the Jaguar and doing pretty well with it as well. But popped into the 911 today, and it's fully liveried up, ready for Alphas. So has he had a change of heart? Remember, your car choice is locked in at qualifying. Of course, you have to have... Oh, there was a yellow flag ahead. That is for who? Doesn't look like anyone's going super slowly. Your car choice is not locked in until you do qualifying on the 23rd of September. Of course, you do need your livery approved before that qualifying race. But essentially, that is your cut-off point. As long as your livery is approved. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, Nigel. Really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, man, it's, you know, testing's one thing, but sometimes it's good just to get out there. It's going to be a similar system to you guys had in the BMW Cup, in a kind of lobby-based, speed-based system. So it's 2 races. It's a sprint race. Yeah, let's do the full run. That's anyone that's watching knows. So yeah, the GT Alphas is a 2-race format. It's a 20-minute sprint race followed by a 40-minute feature race. Now, the grid for the sprint race is set for race number 1 by the qualifying session. For race number 2, it's set by race number 1 sprint position, etc., etc., etc. And the result of the sprint race also sets the grid for the feature. So, essentially, wherever you finish, so how it works is this. Is that we take all the times from every driver for their overall race time in the sprint for each race. We put them in order of who completed the race the fastest, regardless of which lobby they're in, and the top 15 fastest for the sprint race go into the top 15 for the sprint race the following week. The 15 for the sprint race in that particular lobby on that day are reorganised based on finishing position for the feature race, which is now there are 2 slight differences. So the sprint race is not really about tyre and fuel strategy. You just get in the car and drive it as quick as you can. There's no real tyre choice. You use whatever tyres you like. No specific pit windows or anything like that. The feature race is a little bit more tricky. You've got times 3 tyres, times 3 on fuel. You will need to have a stop at some stage, and heavy damage is on, and we're not doing anything like safety cars or any kind of that palaver. So essentially, stay out of trouble. There are very harsh penalties for obviously we've got a stewarding system in place. If a car gets wrecked as a result of your actions, the penalty you will receive will be harsher than you would expect. So if you thought, oh, you know, I've knocked that car off and he's gone into a wall, that's a 5-second penalty. If the car is able to continue and the damage is not significant, then you will probably get a 5-second penalty. If, however, the car hits the wall and he has to pit to repair a ton of damage, you're going to find your penalty consummate to the damage you've caused on that car. Yes, it's going to make stewarding more complicated, but my God, would it make you more aware of the cars around you? We hope. Anyway, so that's essentially how the lineup's going to be. Right, final lap of the race. There is Knudsen. He is just a few corners away from winning here, and winning quite significantly as well. 6 seconds is his lead in the searing heat here. I tell you what, I've got so much sweat. My t-shirt, basically, it's a wet t-shirt competition. Knudsen crossing the line as I talk about my boobies showing through my t-shirt. No, it is a wet t-shirt competition here in the UK at the moment. Unfortunately, my girlfriend's not playing. G-Mac in second, Stormfly in third. Donato behind Stormfly again, this time 11 seconds behind him, but couldn't get the top 2 this time. Stormfly with another podium to his name. Across Donato comes the German driver. Wiggy in that 911 recovered from the first lap shenanigans to 5th position. Good top 6, solid top 6 finish there from Terminator. Gets him across the line. Good top half finish for the ART driver. Held on to those tyres in the end. TJ's made his way through. YouTube Cantona. I missed that, Knudsen. Did you just delete it? Yeah, TJ in 7th place. Willard will come home. Didn't see much of him in this race, actually. GTR in 8th. There is Grizz Troopers in that 911. He'll come home in 9th. You can't be wet there, mate. Yeah, good point. Thanks for that, Knudsen. I haven't got a choice, mate. It is so freaking hot, man. So freaking hot. I don't know what it's like there in I was going to call it Daneland. It's not Daneland, idiot. Denmark, but It's killer here, man. It's absolute killer. Jay comes home in top 10 in that. What's he called? A McLaren. Newton, as you're listening, are you signing up for Alphas, mate? Get signed up. All the stuff's in the Discord. I'll add you to the Alphas section of Discord and you can get signed up for it. Get involved, mate. Get involved. Fubar, he comes home in 11th. He was caught up in the shenanigans early on. And actually, it is noted that the people involved in that have all rage quit along the way. It looks like has he run out of fuel? He has run out of fuel. Oh, mate, the whole of Europe is just on fire at the minute. It's absolutely ridiculous. The thing is, I'm British, and tomorrow it'll fucking piss down with rain, and we'll all be moaning how wet we are. So we're basically just a perennial nation of moaners about the weather. Essentially, every conversation you have in the UK at the moment is, quite it hot, yeah, but it's too hot. Or, oh, I don't want to go outside today. Oh no, better have plenty of drink. Yeah, so Fubar is trickling home. Will he trickle home before the time runs out? I think he'll just make it. Plenty of time for him to get home in that Corvette. But I think the data is starting to show. So people are starting to see what the cars can offer. What cars are suiting them for what tracks. The thing is, 12 races, 12 different tracks, 12 very different tracks. You're not going to have the best car for every track, so it's about finding balance. Do you go for the average car, who's average at every track, or do you go for the car that's dominant on one or two tracks? Who knows? Right, save the replay this time, Andy, you idiot, which you didn't do last time. That's your full rundown. Knudsen from GMAC, Stormfly, Donato, Wiggy, Terminator rounding out the top 6, TJ in that 650S, that's the highest finished McLaren, Willard in that GTR Nismo, Grid Troopers in the 911, another 650S in 10th, driven by Jay, the only Corvette driven by Fubar, a bit of American muscle there, the Supra of Osman finishing in the end DNF. Don't know what happened to Osman, and Tom Cash with the DNF as well. Shame to lose Osman, he was doing quite well at one stage. And the 458 Italia of Tom Cash after Tom Crash, we call him, rage quitting at some stage. There we go. So we're going to have a little break. We're going to do the next race at past. Let's let the guys know. 30. Oh. Next race. Gives everyone a time to go and have a drink, have a comfort break. And so on and so forth. I will... yeah, you know what? That's the thing. I think you've got to... A lot of people have been umming and ahhing about cars, Ken. Particularly, talking about how OP the McLaren is at the moment and how special it is, and that they prefer that car. But I think, when you're looking at when you're going into a 12 race series, you've got to think of the car that you have the most fun with, and the car that you, as you say, the one you trust the most not to kill you. And I think overall, you're going to get your best performance in that when you pick that car. And this is why we're doing this kind of open testing of all the tracks. So, obviously we've driven, a few of us have driven the tracks and driven all the cars and had a little shifty and stuff. But this gives everybody signing up a chance to have a little go. And we're leaving it open so anyone else can come in. Three-wheel disconnection. Oh, you had a disconnection. Unfortunately for you, Jay. Just gives everyone a chance. Right, anyway, I'm going to go and have a comfort break. I'm going to go and refuel my drink, get some more painkillers, because it was that time about 20 minutes ago. So I do need to get on top of me painkillers and me other meds. And we'll start again in 8 minutes. Let's refresh the room for the next course, shall we? Do that first. Loading the settings. Got it all set. Look at me all organised and shizzle. This is where everyone's going to groan. I'll add you to that part of the Discord now, Ken. And I'll see you very shortly. cover break done. I have returned. One more. I'll say what's one more. We've got two more. We'll see how everyone feels though, because it is hot and bothered all round. I did set up for 4. Oh, you signed up. Nice one, Ken. Saves me doing all the do. I think your number's still available. 63, if I remember rightly. Have a word with the other Nola guys. See if they want to get involved. Get some team action involved. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yes. So, moving swiftly on, we move to Laguna Seca, which will be round number 4 on the Alphas calendar. So on Monday, what did we do Monday? We did Spa on Monday, we did Suzuka, we did Kyoto Miyabi Reverse, and Road Atlanta we did on Monday. So far today we've done Lego Maggiore, we just did that one, you saw that. Race number 1 we did at Dragon Trail Seaside. We moved to Laguna Seca. I think you could probably work out that if we're doing Laguna Seca now, we'll be doing some massive iconic tracks on Monday for the sprint racing. We'll be doing Interlagos, Bathurst, Barcelona, probably Sard. I think I've got Sardinia. Well, we'll see. We'll see when we get another one in today. Depends how hot and bothered people are. We will ask the question. Right. I don't need to reset the lobby. It's been recently reset. So I think, without further ado, let's just check everyone's in and ready. Get the drink moved out of the way so I don't knock it over. That would be a good idea. Let's just check everyone's checked in, aren't they? I think they are indeed. Let's ready, check it. I did say half past. It's not quite half past yet. It's almost there. Mike Dread, how the bloody hell are you? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. When are you BCGT guys signing up, man? That's because. Hang on. I'll tell you why that is. That better? No, that's it. I gave it a little knock. That's it. There we go. I gave it a little knock when I came back, and one of my buttons is a little bit temperamental, and you have to fiddle around with it. There we go. Yeah. So when I moved it back in front of me when I came back, yeah, I didn't. I must have knocked the button. There we go. I think we're back and done and dusted. Sweet. Yes, good to see you, Mike. Good to see you. Are you BCGT guys signing up for this Alpha series? Because it'd be really good to have you in there. Some great drivers in BCGT. Anyone that doesn't know, BCGT are essentially a load of guys from the Midlands here in the UK. Oh, bloody microphone. I've knocked the thingy again by accident. Hold the line, call up. There we go. There we go. Yeah, from the Midlands in the UK, all get together on a Friday night, all get beered up and drive cars really fast. Right, let's get cracking with qualifying for the next race here at Laguna Seca. Qualifying is about to begin. Let's remove the thingy Bobby Ujar flip. I did mention, I've been mentioning Proper Blokes Club that we're supporting us, our mental health charity. We also are supporting, it starts the end of September, mate. I'll stick all the details in your Discord and on your Facebook. Oh, don't want that one, we want that one. And we want to do that. Right, okay. Qualifying is about to begin. Let's bring all the... No. Yeah, it was on screen. Yeah, quite easy to see when it's on the screen, mate. But yeah, I'll whack all the details on your Facebook page and up on your Discord, mate. But yeah, qualifying starts on the 23rd. It's 8 o'clock every Saturday. Starting at the end of September, 12-week series. Qualifying race on the 23rd, and then the series starts proper on the 30th. It's a full-on GT3 World Championship. If you can get 3 of the BCGT drivers in there, mate, it will be. You can enter the team competition as well and get team points, which will be awesome. Awesome. Essentially, the top 3 drivers from every team get points for said team. What was I saying before I was so really interrupted? I'm joking. Yes, Laguna Seca. Interesting choice of track this because it's, for me, this is more of a GR4 type of track and a sort of tune track. But that said, you can get some great races around here and some really good opportunities for overtake on this circuit. Who was, as always, we do an onboard with the car that went out first, and that looks to be my friend Graham. Lives literally just around the corner from me. So here we go. to the right hand side as you come out of the final turn, blasting down under the WeatherTech Raceway sign bridge. You clip this little apex here for you look for your braking zone, nice and wide, double apex first corner. You want to take the first one a little bit wider, second one nice and tight, so you can come nice and wide on your way out. No, that's fine, mate, that's fine. Yeah, then you'll round to the right hand side, just a little lift to get you around there in these GT3 cars. You want to be careful of the sand either side. Under the mother's bridge, before you get on the brakes down into third gear, get that turned before you back on the power. GTR should be a pretty strong car around here. Under the V bridge, before you get on the brakes down into third gear, use all that curb, go nice and wide. You've got a lot of green to use there as you head up towards the iconic corkscrew. Get your braking done in a straight line, down into second gear, get it turned. If you can get the first part of the corkscrew is the most important part, because you get that right and you make the exit very, very easy. Second to last corner, right hander here, taking in third gear. You can go quite wide and take a lot of that sand with you. This is one of the key corners though. Get this right, really makes or breaks your lap. There is a big danger of going wide, but you've got a lot of rumble strip to use to help you exit that corner, and then across the line for your lap time. So Wiggy pole, straight away Donato pole, TJ pole, GMAC pole. They're all swapping pole positions here. GMAC with, and he's sticking with the GTR. Now he actually threatened to, I think he was going to start in the, what was it? It was the Mustang he was going to go for, and everyone laughed at him. So he opted to go for this GTR. He is currently on pole with a 22.6. Newton also sticking with that. Is he sticking with the GTR here? It looks like he is. He is indeed sticking with the GTR. Just behind him with a 22.9. They've got another crack at it. It's only a short qualifying, just a 5-minute qualifying session here for these guys. So you've really got to nail it in. You've only got a couple of laps to get it done. Osman in that Supra ended up DNFing in that last race. But back with a vengeance, currently sitting on the second row, opening me drink. Oh, in unison with someone in the kitchen there as well. Donato, just behind, 0.3 of a second behind Osman with a 23.4, also in the GTR. So Donato's changed his car 3 times. He is really tested out the different cars here in this format. I want to see what he can get out of them. Everyone at the moment, not those that have already settled on the GTR 4 Alphas are running their Alphas livery. Those who are using it otherwise either have, like Newton, because he uses that GTR a lot, using his own livery, but most of them going for the GT7 film livery on the car, which is pretty cool, but getting a little bit samey now, I'm afraid. But Donato gets himself onto that second row. Row 3 is Osman and TJ. Wiggy, excuse me, down to row 4 with Willa Company. Fubar, I say that as Stormfly puts himself on row 4, dropping Willa down to row 5 with Fubar. Grizz and Jay on row 6. Down to just 12 runners now. We actually, first lobby we had was full, and we actually had to remove a few people to get the people in that actually signed up for it. But that's good. It's always good to be oversubscribed. Better than undersubscribed, I say. And Waffledino in that Porsche 911 chucks in a 1:21.8 to put himself on pole. Coughing now and I can't shake it. So there we have it. That's how it's looking. Anyone else still on a hot lap? Well, GMAT looks like he's on a hot lap, but he's stuck behind Donato, which is going to be compromising his time a little bit. He's not going to be able to, he's got the slipstream, but through the corners it just compromised his time a little bit. Couldn't improve. Did get a third lap in. A lot of these cars did get a third lap in, but couldn't improve. But so he's on the front row with Waffledino. Osman and Donato on row 2. Knudsen is in a wall, strangely, but he good enough for 5th. He won out that last race, of course. Wiggy in 6th, TJ in 7th. Stormfly across the line 8th. Does he improve? Yes, he does. Puts himself on row 3 in 5th place with a 1:22.7. Yeah, 1:22.7. He's gone back to the 911. So ditching the GT3 this time. into the 911 for the blast around Laguna Seca. So still testing cars is Stormfly, not settled yet on his final choice for this GT Alphas GT3 World Championship. I think, there we go, so the time, so Newton just jumping out of the pits because he needs to come out in order for the clock to run down properly. Often forget about that when I do it at times as well. I do remember we had a race the other day where someone sat in the pit for like 10 minutes and we had to scream at him. But it's done, it's done, it's done. Right, there we go, qualifying over. There's all the info you need about GT Alphas if you were wondering. Just bring up the results now. So Waffledinho from GMAC, front row, Osman and Donato, row 2. Stormfly and Newsman on row 3. Star Groot and TJ, row 4. Row 5 is Willard and Fubar, with Grizz and Jay bringing up the rear on row number 6. Tyres. There's the warning for tyres. There's the ready signal going up. And we are, I think no one's unchecked themselves. Let's get cracking for 14 laps around Laguna Seca. Waffledinho looking pretty darn quick. GMAC quick too in that GTR. That GTR has been quite dominant, actually. Quite dominant. So we'll see, actually, how the GTR stacks up here at Laguna Seca in comparison to the other racetracks.
What do we want? Race car noises. When do we want them? Meow.
And we are ready to go. That is never going to get tiresome. Absolutely never. Right, away we go. Good start from GMAC. Gets the jump on Waffledinho down towards turn 1. Turn 1 at Laguna Seca can be a horror crash fest. There's a car spinning. How many cars are spinning? That's the question. I'm not quite sure what happened there, because it looked to me that Stormfly went a little bit wide. So we'll have a little look. So having a little look here, what went on. Trying to find, obviously I can't watch what happened to him because he left the room, which makes things a little bit difficult. So I can't actually see what happened to Fubar because Fubar left the room before I could get the replay up. So no way of knowing what actually happened, but it looked to me like he might have got caught up because it certainly looked like Stormfly got caught a little bit wide, and Fubar got clipped going into turn 1. Not surprised, he's a little bit pissed off, but that said, if he'd stayed in, I could have looked at it and made a decision on a red flag. Couldn't make that decision because, well, he'd gone, so I couldn't see what happened. Anyway, moving swiftly on. GMAC got the jump on Waffledinho from the start. Waffledinho sticking with him. He did put in a solid qualifying time in that 911. Now, it's going to be a question of how the tyres and fuel. I don't think the fuel's going to be a problem for the 14 laps, but certainly I think the tyres will. Very tyre intensive, very abrasive surface here at Laguna Seca. So, Waffledinho gave a little nudge into the back of GMAC as if to say hello, but can't get the job done. Newton up to 3rd already. It's GTR, Porsche, GTR, so 3 GTRs in that top 4. Donato in there, Osman in the Supra holding on in 5th. Stormfly just behind, he's gone for Porsche 911, and that's Donato spinning around. What happened to him? Did he get a clip or was that self-inflicted? It looks like did he catch the brown stuff? He did. He got a little bit too wide on the exit. And we know how twitchy that GTR can be if you get off the black stuff. And that's exactly what happened to Donato. He got off the black stuff onto that sand. And around and round and round he goes. Can't park that there, mate. So GMAC still in the lead from Waffledinho. Waffledinho all over him. This is a really solid 3-way battle for the lead of this race at the moment. Newton trying to find a way through. Had a look up the inside. In fact, it's a 4-way battle because there's Osman. Osman involved there. There's Stormfly. 5 cars now in that battle. Willard is the best of the rest at the moment. 4.3 seconds back. This is the train. Just 1.2 seconds separates GMAC in the lead going into turn 1 now, and Stormfly there in the Porsche, and it's Porsche, it's Supra, and it's 3 GTRs in that lead pack. And Stormfly has a look on Osman up the inside, makes that move. That's solid, that gets done. He's got that move done nicely. Osman is still hanging on though, as Knudsen having a little look, and G-Mac as Waffledinho has got himself into the lead of this race. Finds a way around G-Mac. Knudsen now around the outside of G-Mac. Can he make it stick? Side by side, the 2 GTRs heading up the hill. G-Mac's going to have the inside line here. Is Knudsen going to back off? Is there enough room? There is. Stormfly now getting involved. Look at this 3-way battle heading to the corkscrew. You've got to go single file through here. Who's got the big kahunas? Well, Stormfly makes a double overtake, but gets a penalty for track limits on the way to doing that. So that's going to cost him there. The 2 GTRs still duking it out ahead. Osman had a little look up the inside. This is a great little battle. Waffledinho, it's playing right into his hands, because these 4 all jostling for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. It's just allowing Waffledinho to build a little bit of a gap out in front. The gap this time last lap between 1st and 5th, 1.2 seconds. Now out to 3.5 seconds. Stormfly serves that penalty, but does hold on into turn 1, as again Knudsen and G-Mac going at it. It's hard, but it is very fair racing. Look at the quality between these drivers. Wiggy's got himself up into 6th position. We will come back and join this battle out in front. We cannot ignore it. There is Wiggy just ahead of TJ. He is 1.1 seconds ahead of TJ. TJ sticking with that McLaren. He has set his stall out, set his heart on that McLaren, and he's not changing now. Yellow flag ahead. Who's that off the racetrack? That's Waffledinho. Was that forced? I imagine with the distance he was ahead, that was a mistake from Waffledinho, because we can say, oh yeah, he gets that 911 onto the sand and off into the wall he goes. You can't park that there, mate. So it just goes to show just how easy it is around here for things to go horribly wrong. Love this racetrack. And all of a sudden, Stormfly goes from being 5th, 1.2 seconds back, to being 1st, 0.7 of a second ahead of the 2, I was going to say the 2 GTRs, the GTR of G-Mac. Knudsen just dropping behind Osman now. So all change. Wiggy up to 5th, TJ up to 6th, Willard up to 7th. Donato, he spun early on. He's down in 8th position. 1 second ahead of Waffledinho, who spun that 911, the Adidas liveried 911, into the wall after putting in a 1:22.0 on the lap before. So giving himself quite a lot of work to do. Grizz Troopers there is running in 10th. He's yet to spin it into the pits. This, of course, is the track that he famously did that on. I'm sure he's done it elsewhere since. I certainly have done. And actually, this track is the home of my first ever broadcast. So, little bit favoured to Laguna Seca for that, because I did my first ever broadcast at Laguna Seca. Getting some drink inside me, not alcoholic. I haven't had an alcoholic drink now for, where are we? Over a month. I haven't, not a drop of alcohol has touched my lips. How mental is that? Seriously. I should have got sponsored. Is Jay on auto drive, or is he just flashing his lights for fun? Excuse me. Right. Out in front, Stormfly now. Now he's got a bit of clear air. He's starting to get that Porsche swinging. 1:21.9 was his fastest lap. That was on lap 5. Starting to find the pace now in the Doctor liveried Porsche 911 RSR. Very well suited to this track. You would have thought the McLaren being mid-engined would be pretty strong around here too, but not really performing. Certainly not in the hands of TJ at the moment. Achtung, whatever he said, yeah, what he said, but in English. G-Mac in that Nismo Nissan GTR, comfortably in second at the moment. He's the battle with Knudsen was close and fast and frantic, but just backing off a little bit now, Knudsen. He lost the place to Osman. He's now got back into third, but he's got 2.3 seconds to make up on G-Mac ahead. We're almost at the halfway point already here. at Laguna Seca. And actually, I don't think tyres are going to be a problem for this format. I think it was... Oh, I was going to say, it looked like Osman went straight on at the corkscrew, and that's absolutely what he did. It was less corkscrew and more using the other end of a wooden spoon to open the bottle. Straight on, he went at the end, just got his braking all kinds of wrong there into the corkscrew and onto the gravel he goes. Back out on track though, didn't seem to have lost much. I think he's still in fourth, but no, he's not. Wiggy gets through into fourth place. Osman drops down to fifth position. 5.3 seconds is the gap to Willard, running in sixth place. TJ, he's still running in seventh. He's been comfortably midfield pretty much in this McLaren today. But I'm not sure the McLaren is as OP as some might suggest. Some tracks, of course, it's brilliant. But the tracks today, it's not really been the dominant car. Just behind TJ, of course, there's Donato. We saw him spin early. And Waffledinho. Those two very, very quick drivers demonstrate today just how quick they are, as Donato making a little error, kicking up some dust and dropping back behind Waffledinho. So Waffledinho now going to chase down at the back of TJ's McLaren, trying to find a way back up towards the front of the field after kicking up some dust and smashing into a wall. Goods Troopers in 10th place. He's 22 seconds clear of JJ, having a bit of a torrid time of it on this particular circuit. He's also running that McLaren in this particular race. And Osman leaves the room. Was he having he looks like he's been having a couple of problems. It's not the first time he's left the room early. Now, is he having some connection issues? And is this going to be indicative of what happens when GT Alpha starts? Now, this is the thing. It's good to get these kind of things out of the way now. Make sure that everything is ready, that when the series starts, you're not going to have technical issues. I mean, look, sometimes they're going to happen whatever you do. But if you've got something that can be fixed between now and when the series starts, now is the time to start looking at it and get that done. Yeah, definitely time to get it done. Stormfly now finding that rhythm. 1:21.9, fastest lap of the race, and then improves actually with a 21.910. 1.6 seconds to GMAC, 22.0 for him. And it looks like this is going to be a no-stop 14 lapper here at Laguna Seca. So interesting for the feature race when we set it out. I think for the majority, I think most of the races are going to be one-stoppers. Now they've got a free choice on tyres. Will anyone opt for any compound other than the softs? That would be an interesting decision. So GMAC running in second. There's Newton, winner last time out. Another GTR there. So GTR looking at the moment to be the strongest overall car across the tracks we've done at the moment. Of course, then if we factor in tracks like Interlagos and just how strong the McLaren is at tracks like Interlagos, we could be mixing things up a little bit later on. So Newton 1.8 seconds back. So only 3.1 separates the top three at the moment. Nice big gap, huge gap. Not nice if you're Stargroot or Wiggy. If you are Wiggy, you are 13 seconds off that top three. So at the moment, he's kind of relying on an accident ahead to get into the top three, but a good solid fourth at the moment in that 911 GT3 RS. And Waffledinho has left the room. Now that suggests to me that somebody was a little bit unhappy with the fact that he crashed out. And who else have we lost? Because we've still got Jay. We've lost. I know that we lost Ozzy Osman. Who else have we lost? Because we had 12. There's Jay, there's TJ, there's Grizz, there's Willards, there's Wiggy. GMAC's still in there. Who have we lost? No matter. They've gone. Doesn't matter, does it? So, Stormfly from GMAC from Newton. That's your top three. Donato, now ahead of Wiggy. So these two, GTR and 911, battling it out for fourth and fifth. Willard also in that GTR. Not too far back, 1.5 seconds. If he can find a couple of tenths a lap, could very well be involved in that battle there. Grizz Troopers ahead of TJ. Has TJ had a problem? He did last lap, 37.6. So crashing out, that's got Grizz Troopers ahead. He is 11.2 behind Willard, but 4.2 ahead of TJ. So the two McLarens really not faring very well at all here at Laguna Seca. And I can see why. When it came up on Monday, everyone was so unhappy because a lot of them were driving McLarens then, and they didn't really feel the McLaren was the right car for this track. Right, so Jay is still bringing up the rear in that McLaren. So 2 McLarens at the back of the pack. Stormfly, the lead has been cut to under 1 second as we're on lap 10 of 14. Time's just dropping out a little bit out of the 21s into the 22s. Although GMAC himself dropping out the 22s into the 23s. That wasn't a 155, surely. 122.4 last lap for him. Newton with a 121.9. Dropping back under those into that sub 22, which is, I think, pretty much where the leaders are going to need to be around here in this class. Now, tyres wise, take a look at this. That front left tyre taking some abuse. It should hold on in that 911. Does it hold on in the GTR though? The front right tyre, sorry, of GMAC looking ropey. Better in Newton, but still pretty darn ropey. But Newton really closing the gap on GMAC now. GMAC trying to nurse that car home here. It's still got 3.5 laps to go till the end of this race. Donato's got himself up to 4th. Willard ahead of Wiggy. It looks like Wiggy's had a problem somewhere. At lap 8 he was pretty slow. I don't know, that's text messaging me, I don't really care. So Willard up into 5th, Donato into 4th. Again, GTR's proving to be quite a strong choice. Of course, we've got to factor in there is going to be an update at some point during the tournament. So there is going to be that little bit of a gamble with whether you pick, what car you pick, because we know how well that PD likes to buff and nerf cars every time there's an update. And it's whether the car of choice is one of yours that gets buffed or one of yours that gets nerfed. Now, I would imagine if the car you pick is the Uber car across GT3 for pretty much every track, the chances are, if there's a nerf going to be happening, it's going to happen to you. So maybe not necessarily pick the best car. Pick the car that you are most comfortable with. Can Grizz find a way to keep TJ at bay? The gap down to 2.6 seconds. Just a couple of laps remaining. Jay 19 seconds back. He's not going to catch TJ at this stage in that. But this is the battle here. GMAC now losing out to Newton. Or Newton getting it wrong in a corkscrew just allows GMAC to get that back. We can watch this battle again. So here we go, up towards the corkscrew. Newton gets a great run. Makes the move on GMAC up towards the corkscrew. Side by side, the two GTRs go into the braking zone. Just a little bit late on the brakes was the Nola Racing driver. And that allowed GMAC just to maintain momentum and regain second. Still all to do, but tyres looking pretty darn ropey. Pit window is open. It's not open. Well, it's always been open. It's never been shut. But we've got it there anyway, just in case they decide to do it. I think GMAC is going to try and hold on for 2 laps, despite the fact his tyres are devoid of rubber. If you had that rubber and you were trying to prevent pregnancy, you would be having a baby. Stormfly now pulling away. The quick guys around him have all fallen by the wayside. He's let consistency do the talking in that 911. 3.7 seconds now the lead going into the end of lap 13 up to the corkscrew for the penultimate time. And you can see just a great line through there in that 911. And I think, this car is quite suited, this track is quite suited to these 911s. I've always found it's one of the better cars around here. But that said, the GTR performance cannot be sniffed at. 1.2 seconds a gap to Newton. So GMAC, despite having very ropey tyres, has opened up a bit of a breather It's whether he can get those tyres to hold on for one more lap. So here we go, round on to lap 14. It's Stormfly from GMAC from Newton. This is on board the Nola Racing Danish driver. 1:22.4 for him that last lap. Chasing down GMAC. This is for second position, this battle. Up ahead, you can just see the back of that 911 of Stormfly. I think unless he crashes between now and the end of the race, I'm not trying to jinx him or anything, and no such thing as commentator's curse, it's commentator's foresight. If I watch you crash, it's not because I cursed you, it's because I knew you were going to do it. Anyway, and Newton closed the gap to 0.3 of a second. GMAC's going to have to close off every single inside line, leave nothing to chance, but it's going to be so difficult. A little bit more tyre on that Newton car, the Nola Racing car. Can he make the move? He does make the move. GMAC can't keep it on the black stuff, and the tyre's just giving out on him at the last. You can see there. Well, no, you can't see, but I can. Not much left on it. So here we go. Stormfly, just a couple of corners to do, and he has completed what's turned out 3 good races, 3 podiums from Stormfly. Round the final corner he goes, and yeah, brilliant finish from him in that 911. So our decision's made now for people. Do they know what they want to use? Newton across in second position, GMAC home in third, did hold on in the end. Donato in the other Nismo, 19 seconds back, but comfortably 3.6 ahead of Wiggy. Wiggy again in that top 5 though, certainly holding on, and across through that penalty line and across the line goes Donato, which rhymes with tomato and potato for no other reason than why not. Wiggy home in 5th, Willard home in 6th, another GTR there. Tyres held out all right there for him. Grizz Troopers and TJ battling out to the line. This might not yet be over. Final corner. Is TJ going to go for that big lunge? Can the power of that McLaren take Grizz Troopers? He was thinking about it. But Grizz takes 7th, 8th for TJ. Joe came in 9th, and we've got a few DNFs to report at the end of this race. And I think with the drop off now, I think we'll call this a night. 2 hours of racing, I think, is more than enough in this crazy heat. Across the line goes Jay, and that is done and dusted as the timer ticks down to 0. Boom Shankar. There we have it. There's your final classified results. Stormfly from Newton, GMAC from Donato, Wiggy from Willard, Grizz Troopers from TJ, Jay, and then Fubar, who got melted on that one and decided to disappear. The Riddlesman with DNF, and Waffledino also disappearing during that race. There we have it. Save the replay. I want to look at that incident with Fubar. There we have it. Good, no, great racing all round. Thank you everybody for being involved. I think we're going to call it a night there. Everyone's hot, everyone's bothered. There's been a lot of racing and a good solid 2 hours of racing we've had there under our belts. We'll be back Monday with the same again, but in sprint format. So 4 tracks in sprint format, 7 laps apiece. No tyres and fuel to worry about, just balls out, flat to the floor racing. So I've been Urban Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with the GT Alphas GT3 World Championship pre-season open testing. It's been emotional. It's goodbye from me, and
what do we want? Race car noises. When do we want them? Meow.
See you later.